To unite. This is the meaning of the Pleiades constellation in Japanese, also known as the Subaru constellation. Nox Lux, throughout its entirety, repeats this idea of connection and uniting. It is through this, and the song as a whole, that echoes a grand connection to Subaru and his themes, more so than any of the other ending themes. Many of the more astute ReZero fans may have noticed that each ending and opening theme is sung from the point of view of a certain character. For the openings, all of them are told from Subaru's point of view. Redo, Paradisus Paradoxum, Realize, Longshot, and Reweave all explore aspects of Subaru's journey. However, when taking a look at the ending themes, it depicts a very different variety of characters' POVs. We're not explicitly told some of them. Well, we were explicitly told that Sixculus is sung from the POV of Satella. But we could do some pretty easy guesswork given the lyrics and or the singer. For example, Stay Alive sung by Rie Takahashi, the voice actress of Amelia. Through the lyrics it's also clear too. I'm not going to explain the lyrics of Stay Alive or Believe in You, because this is a video about Ending 5, Nox Lux. I may do analysis videos on those songs later though. Feel free to look at the lyrics of those songs, as they're made pretty clear to whose perspective or story is trying to depict. Memento isn't as clear because there's clues pointing in different directions, but it's most likely talking about Subaru. But disregarding that rundown of the several amazing ReZero songs, I'd like to make an argument. Not really an argument, I guess, because I think it's pretty obvious, but I'd like to analyze Nox Lux, the ending of Season 3, and the way both the lyrics and animation reveal much of Subaru's thematic role in the story of ReZero, the themes of the story as a whole, and more interesting connections that I can make. To begin, I'll start with the animation, given that not all of the video is related to Subaru and his story. Aside from one of my favorite pieces of animation in any ReZero ending/opening theme, that being the wonderful shot of Subaru's friends lifting him up after one of his deaths, calling back to the first opening's animation. Subaru is killed in a background of white, with his blood spattering all over the floor. However, in this instance, rather than remaining down and just resetting, his friends give him the strength to keep moving forward. I honestly love how you could see Garfield, Otto, Amelia, Anastasia, Mimi, and Wilhelm's hands in this shot, as well as Reinhard's actual hand lifting him up, relating Subaru's metaphorical motivation and Reinhard's literal assistance. Interestingly enough, you can't see Beatrice's hands in this portion despite their closeness. However, further on, you can see that she's right by his side, holding his hand. What's so good about this shot is how wonderfully it illustrates Return by Death, and Subaru's internal struggles. As we all should know by now, ReZero isn't just a fun story of Subaru figuring out how to use Return by Death to outsmart his enemies, but it is a deep, profound character study. The stakes in ReZero are not whether Subaru dies or not, we already know this. But the stakes lie in his own determination and will to keep on fighting. Anecdotally, I've been asked by a friend, what is the main goal of ReZero? And obviously I could have gone with the easy answer and say, the royal selection. But that absolutely does not represent anything about what ReZero is. And honestly, I still have a difficult time answering this question. I hope you don't find it too pretentious to say, but ReZero is a character-driven story. I mean, all stories are in some way. Characters are plot in themselves. But ReZero especially. To try to put it into any words at all, I'd say the genuine goal of ReZero's story is personal growth and connection. And it may feel like a gimme to say this, but I'm not really sure how else to describe it in simple terms. Please, if you'd like to share some insights for anything in this video, not just this part, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Moving on, I'd like to make another connection to the first opening, that being the segment where Subaru is standing apart from his friends, who are standing shoulder to shoulder, as opposed to Ending 5, where he's standing shoulder to shoulder with everyone else, at the helm, as if he's their leader, which he pretty much is whether Subaru feels like he's worthy or not. This bookmarks the progress that he's made in both himself and his connections with others over the course of the entire series. At this point, Arc 5 feels like the perfect victory lap of growth and character arcs that have occurred up until this point, at least for both Subaru and Amelia. With that, we finish up the animation analysis, from a Subaru lens at least. If you think I missed anything, let me know. Now, before we move on, I'd like to take a little break to request that you subscribe to our channel. It would help us out a lot, and we're going to do a lot more mixed anime manga video game content in the future, but our main focus is ReZero and Persona. So if you're a fan of either of those two, I recommend sticking around, because there will be a lot more where that came from. Now back to the video. Now, we'll start looking at the song itself, Nox Lux, with the word Nox meaning dark, and the word Lux meaning light. I wouldn't necessarily say this is connected to Subaru, but just to show the juxtaposition between Team Subaru and the Witch Girl. Clear through the way they chose to market this season. For the lyrical analysis, we'll go line by line to expedite the process, and when verses/choruses start repeating, I'll ignore them. It's the same words. Alright, let's go. Connecting the dots in this context refers to the drawing of a constellation. The context being that the arc is named The Stars That Engrave History. No, but for real. Subaru, Aldebaran, Regulus, Capella, Sirius, Alphard, and Baden Kaitos truly are the stars that engrave history. Subaru being the only one that's named after an entire constellation, not just one star. Furthermore, we initialize this idea of unite, standing shoulder to shoulder and connecting hands. Let me be the beacon of our hope reminds me of a specific line from Puck, all the way back in Memory Snow. The idea that stars are a symbol of hope, and that Subaru is this raw representation of hope against adversity because of his power to change fates. Continuing on with this line, we can notice that it connects to the persistent trust between Emilia and Subaru, noted explicitly through the insert song, I Trust You, as well as how they both navigate the events of Arc 5. Now again, we maintain this idea of unite, and the continued use of the possessive our. I do say specifically that the song is about Subaru and his themes, because he is the one that unites everyone. For this, I'd like to establish that the idea that ReZero is a house of mirrors. Okay, that doesn't really make sense in itself, but throughout nearly every character, some aspect of Subaru's struggle is represented. Beatrice's loneliness waiting for someone to whisk her away and save her. Emilia's struggles for her own autonomy and control over her life. Reinhardt's burden of expectations, and several other cases. ReZero characters try not to hate themselves challenge impossible. And it is through these connected struggles that people are able to connect with each other, resonating empathy. Of course, no one can fully understand someone else's feelings, because everyone comes from different contexts. But this shared experience and willingness to humanize others is what strengthens bonds. Take Subaru's quite literal, endless forgiveness for even those that have killed him. I'd have to say his power of empathy is one of his strongest. Finishing up with the TV sides of the song, we keep reiterating this idea of combined strengths. From each of these fights shown so far in Arc 5, we can see how each team member fills in the weakness of others. And for a specific callback, Subaru's line to Reinhardt during episode 8 spells it all out. I've said this before in some of my other videos, but I love this idea of Subaru being representative of the human condition as a whole. He combines both virtue and sin, neither devilish nor divine, but a human, a social creature that has connections with one another, being one of the most important parts of our existence. To conclude, in simple words, this song is goated, and I really love how it connects to many of the ideas that represent Subaru as a character. If you had asked me which ending is my favorite, I still really wouldn't be able to answer because I love them all equally, but I do have a favorite opening, that one being Long Shot, and I may do a video on that in the future. Thank you for watching. I may not be the best at analyzing things or putting them into words, but I feel as though I have something important to bring to the table. If you like how I talk, how I write, or how I analyze, I recommend subscribing to the channel. Also, this channel is a team of two, me and my co-narrator Brett. He makes some amazing videos as well, so you should check him out.